Hey everybody, it's David, ECBA 403, week 3 in the books. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I want to talk about some of the things that I observed this week on your papers, and then make a professional application to it as well as an academic application. And so hopefully for those of you who watch these, hopefully it'll be helpful for you. One of the key things in any type of communication inside an organization or with customers is to make it easy for the reader to say yes. Okay? Make it easy for the reader to say yes. So in the academic spectrum, make it easy for your professor to say yes on your paper. If your professor has to hunt for ideas and go through, funky formatting and everything else, he or she is less likely to say yes. And the way that a professor says yes is via a grade. Okay? But the same thing applies in your professional lives, at your job and at your work. Make it easy for your supervisor or your customer to say yes to your idea. So let me give you some other thoughts. Again, you don't make your customer hunt for your ideas. You don't make your boss, if they ask you for your opinion on something, to hunt for your ideas. You don't make it hard for your professor to find your ideas. If it's too hard for them to follow, guess what? They're going to click the delete button and move on to the next one. Trust me, I spent 30 years leading organizations, and if I asked for a proposal on something and I couldn't figure out very quickly what that idea was, boom, it was in the trash can. I was moving on to the next idea. I just didn't have time. And so the same thing applies today. And what I've found over the years is if you follow a logical flow, then it helps the person understand what those ideas are. And so I've always used the what, why, how process. I've also used, and I've communicated this many times, and some of you still aren't doing this, and we're into week 3 now. I communicate, use headings in your written communication. If you just throw a bunch of crap on a piece of paper and expect the professor to find your idea, guess what? He's moved on or she's moved on to the next paper. Same thing happens in your professional life. If you're asked to give a proposal and you don't put headings in there, you don't have a logical flow to your idea, they've moved on. And then you sit back scratching your head frustrated why you aren't getting a promotion. Okay? So I'm just being really honest with you today on those. Okay? So let me give you a couple of examples. So this week, in your paper, we had 4 or 5 questions that were in there. One of the questions was on equity theory, okay? So if you use this what, why, how process that I'm talking about with equity theory, you're going to ask the question, what? Well, what is equity theory? It's clearly the foundation that's going to prop up the rest of your answer. So you need to be crystal clear on the definition of what. What is it? Because that's going to be the basis for your conversation and what you build later. It also manages the expectation of the reader or the person, if this is verbal, hearing you, what your idea is for equity theory. They may have a different idea. And if you go off not defining it very well, then they're operating off of their definition of equity theory. You're operating off of yours, and you may be far apart in those areas. So what is it? The why part of it is, why is this important to address? Okay? So equity theory has a particular foundation for it. Why is it important to study? Okay? And then how? So what, why, how? How can it be effectively used? And one of the key things that you could do in the how portion of this is give examples. So if you begin to take a look at these questions that your professors, not just me in this class, but in your other classes, when they ask you a question, normally they're asking for a what question. What is this? But if you take it beyond the what to go, what is it? Why is it important to address? How is it going to be effectively used? And how am I going to use it? And give it some examples. Guess what? I bet your grades go up. okay? Because you're looking at it beyond just regurgitating what a textbook told you, all right? So let me shift gears here and go into a professional example. Let's pretend that you work in a human resource department for a company, and the human resource director asks you and another group of people to set up an idea on how to develop a new performance review system. Again, we all know those are hard, okay? So what you have to do is define for your boss what this new system is. So you have to be very crystal clear, not general, on what this new HR system is that you're proposing. So you'll go through that. The second thing is, if you use the what, why, how, why is it important, and why is it better than other ideas that are out there? Why is it better than the current idea that you have? All right? So that goes into much greater depth. And then the how is, how will it be used? How will it be evaluated? And give some examples. So this whole what, why, how thing is just not an academic exercise that I'm throwing on you today to give you, one other thing to consider. It's something that again, I've used for years in the professional world, and it can help separate you from the person who just throws crap on a piece of paper as a proposal and then again scratches their head on why they're not moving forward in the organization. So try that again the next week, and for heaven's sake, put headings on your paper so that I can be interested in finding what you have to say. All right? Hopefully this makes some sense this week. All right? Take care.